Hi, I'm Ishan.
I'm Ed.
And this is the Underqualified podcast where we talk about business casually.
Today we covered a guy building a $400 million meme coin empire.
In a week.
And we covered ChatGPT, the end of Google, GTA 6, and Saudi Arabia.
I've actually got topics today.
Yes.
Wait, where the fuck's my phone? Oh, it's my ass. I've actually got a bunch of... Did you have any topics before we start?
No.
All right, let me...
They'll come to me as I talk. Yeah, I've got nothing to talk about.
Well, I've actually got a few good topics. Let's start with... Do you know a guy named Ben Pasternak?
Ben Pasternak.
He's like a Sydney guy. I think he lives in New York now.
I know him.
All right, well, let's talk about him because I believe he's our age. Maybe a bit older, maybe a bit younger, and like in his 20s. And... he started a bunch of companies. I think he's sold like a few companies, but I don't think they were wildly successful exits. I think they were just like, you know, when you do something and it's going along and then, you know, the sell is like not a celebration because I think he maybe raised money for a few of them. So the investors get their money back type thing. Like, I think it's like that. But he recently started something that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars in like a month, or like in a week, I think. So that's the little teaser. Let's get into it a bit. Let's talk about the thing he's doing now, and then we can go into his background a bit because it's kind of interesting. But you know what Pump.Fun is?
Yeah.
It's like where you can launch tokens. He basically started his own version. The difference being is that there's two big differences. One is you can just start a token by replying to a tweet and tagging the account. So I think his thing is called Believe app, and you tag Believe and then the name of your token, and it'll create the token for you. So
it just creates 4-letter with a little $sign token.
Yeah, or you can call it whatever. Yeah, just like whatever you want to call it, it'll create the token instantly.
How does it how does it have a market cap or anything?
Like it just generates, and then people, once they trade it, that's when it has a price and everything like that.
Is there one token to start with, or is there 100 million?
I think it's the same as Pump.Fun. I didn't check this, but I think it's the same as Pump.Fun where you get 1 billion tokens at the start. That's the first thing. They reduced the barrier to entry to like creator tokens even easier. Like Pump.Fun already did it like pretty easy. If you don't know what Pump.Fun is, you launch tokens through it very easily, and it is now, you know,
that's where like what Pepe came from and fucking.
I don't know if Pepe, but Fartcoin did.
Fartcoin
Fartcoin is worth like $1 billion. But Pump.Fun has made $600 million in the past, I think, a year and a half. It's a very, you know, if it was a business valued on a multiple, it's probably worth a couple $1 billion as an entity. And that had the monopoly for so long. I mean, I say so long, it's only been like a year and a half. Yeah. The creators behind Pump.Fun, they're also in their 20s, which is crazy. I'm pretty sure they're anonymous. Like, we know them, but some people have seen them. But
well, it makes sense. Like, you can't talk to that. The audience that uses Pump.Fun, they're not sophisticated, older investors. It's like a bunch of young degenerates, and the only way to reach them is by making a platform as a young degenerate.
Yeah, like I think that sort of, and that's why I guess this guy Ben, who started Believe, which is a Pump.Fun competitor, has done so well. So launching via Twitter was one mechanism that made them like pop off. The second one, I believe, is that they give 50% of the fees. So whenever someone trades, there's a fee generated. They give 50% of that to the creator, which previously I don't believe that creators even got a fee off the trading volume.
Okay, so it incentivizes people to make coins and promote them.
Yeah, and I think what I've been seeing, the type of people that launch on Pump.Fun is like you literally call something Fartcoin.
Yeah,
and it's just a meme.
Or whatever,
you make an image and then you launch a coin, and there's like no fundamentals. What I've seen on Believe is that a bunch of people that actually create like consumer apps and like games, and we'll talk about one in a second, that's the second topic, but people that build real products are launching on Believe. And I think that's like maybe a core fundamental difference, because on Pump.Fun, there's a bajillion, what they call like pump shitters, like a bajillion coins that are worth 10K.
Yeah.
And then they rug. Whereas on Believe, I'm sure there's a plethora of coins that are also like that. But most of them are like actually worth a couple $1 million and like has a real product behind it and stuff like that. And then his one is like really focused on being a mobile app. Anyway, I can tell you a bit of the stats about it so far. So he started it 2 months ago, but he rebranded it and relaunched this thing, I believe, like a few weeks ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago. And today, it's done over $5 million in revenue just the last 24 hours.
Whoa.
$5 million in fees in the last 24 hours. And on top of that, his own, like, Believe has a coin, its own, like, coin. And the market cap for that coin currently is like $400 million. So it's like 0 to 400 million in like a week, which is insane.
How did he do it?
Yeah, I mean, it might be good to talk a bit about. So that's Believe and the success of it. And I told you why I think it's successful right now. Will it stay and keep going? I'm a pretty big believer of just meme coins in general. I know Noah. Me and him have had debates about meme coins and stuff, and he is not a believer in meme coins, or not to the extent that I am. Like, I like the idea of, it's a meme now, but like internet capital markets, like people just launching, tokens based on their startup and stuff like that. I'm a really, really big believer in that. So I think that will stay. I don't know if the success will sustain with Believe or blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting concept. Ben himself, though, do you want to know? He's done a few things. You probably heard about a few of these. I'm surprised you don't know him.
I know him.
But he initially started out, he made some app that was like a Tinder for eBay, and he raised a bit of money when he was like 16.
Yeah.
That went nowhere. And then I think he just like, left that behind. And then he started a thing called Monkey. You definitely know Monkey.
What is it? Monkey.
It's like the chat roulette thing. The Monkey, have you not seen this?
Oh, like the Aiden Ross thing. Yeah.
So he created that.
Oh, okay. So he's got a bit of like internet.
Well, yeah, he does have, I think he has clout and stuff, but he made that, but I think he sold that to like a Chinese firm like way too early. Like I think he sold it for maybe a couple 100,000 or maybe $1 million or $2 million or like something like that. And then Monkey is actually like pretty successful now.
Off, yeah.
I think it popped off, and maybe he could only get there with the acquisition and blah, blah, blah. So I don't think he made a lot of money from that. That was his second thing. And then his third thing was he was behind Nugs, the plant-based chicken nuggets. And the hold code was Simulate, which was like basically trying to do what's that? Beyond Meat. It's basically trying to do that. He raised like tens of millions of dollars for that. And I believe that also sold, but the acquisition price wasn't disclosed. And usually when it's not, and years have gone by and COVID hit, like all this stuff happened where I think that wasn't like a happy ending for him. I'm not too sure, but just from what I know online,
that's a crazy stack of things to make.
Yeah, so he's random. I think what he's really good at is just like starting.
Yeah,
he probably has a good team as well. Yeah, just starting things and good at executing. And then now this might be the thing that makes him.
Well, he's made I guess if he starts selling it, price.
Yeah, I don't know how many tokens. I don't know how many tokens he has.
He's probably done all right.
Yeah, I think so far. I mean, the fees itself.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't know what he's doing with those fees, but I'm assuming like, he's going to do what the Pump.Fun guys did and just like keep it for himself, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. Would you ever launch a coin? Would Grog ever launch a coin?
No.
I remember you talking about it as a joke, maybe.
Yeah, I think we were thinking of doing it like a joke. But yeah, the problem I like it as it's just so like in a nice utopian world, it's a great thing where you don't need to go through like the rigmarole of like an IPO and do the roadshow and do all this stuff. It's like you can just like have a business like Kickstarter and raise money. But the problem is so many people just scam. Yeah.
That is the issue. Like, so like Grog would never launch a coin.
No, because like even like I don't know. Like we don't need the
you guys
money.
Don't need them. Yeah, you guys. You don't need to scare.
It's also like we would if we were to do like a crowdfundy thing, we'd use like I forgot what it's called, but there's like quite a big crowdfunded, like you buy like a SPAC-y thing. I forgot how it works. It just like syndicates a ton of tiny investors on behalf of a company, so it's legal because you can't invest in a private company if you're not sophisticated. But there's one in America that does it. It's
so the shareholders are one line item instead of like 1,000. I get what you mean. Yeah, I don't know. A token just seems like, well, the way that Believe works is that because a lot of companies like startups are launching a token on Believe.
Yeah.
But you have to be very clear that it's not pseudo equity.
Yeah.
Like the people that are launching it, it's kind of like it's kind of like if when Cold One sells t-shirts, people buy t-shirts to support Cold Ones.
Yeah.
That's the way that legally you'd have to launch the tokens. But really,
tricky.
But really, like people know that it is kind of like a pseudo equity. Like people are buying because like the success of the underlying thing, if that goes up, they believe that the token value will go up and blah blah blah.
Even though there's technically no like logic.
You have no rights. You have no rights. You have no shareholder rights. You have
no cash flow. Like there's no that's why like, the whole thing's like silly. Where it's like if a token did have some kind of, I guess that's when it becomes an equity style thing and it's legally tricky. But yeah, it's like I wouldn't buy, like if there was a random coin that didn't have any benefits apart from like, oh, this is Nike coin. It's not Nike stock. So it's just fucking tricky. But I guess then other people might drive the price up, but it's just like, why are you guys doing this? Because you're not going to get a dividend. And if they sell the company, you're not going to get any money.
Yeah, and then I guess maybe we can go into the second topic that's related. Some of the people launching on Believe is pretty interesting. There's a lot of people just building like mini crypto games that like they spin up in literally a week. An example of it is, have you ever played Slither?
Yeah.
Like the snake game where you eat a little bunch of dots and then you eat other snakes and blah, blah, blah. Someone forked that, but whenever you eat a snake, you like take their money, you take their crypto, and they have a token for it. And this guy launched it, and within days, it's the market cap's like $10 million, and and then the token itself brings attention to it. It's actually like pretty cool concept where it's like you buy a snake for $10 and then you're in the game.
Kind of gambling,
and it's 100% like gambling. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that like that was, and I see a lot more of these like mini games or just like mini apps people
I think
are
they're a
building.
cool idea where it's like you can kind of get paid in some sort of coin for being good at a game. I kind of like that idea. It adds a little bit more entertainment to it. It's not necessarily full gambling, but there's a risk associated, which I think's kind of fun. But that's where I see it like working really well, those kind of tokens, because otherwise it's like really tricky if you're like some startup and you're like, we launched a token and you use all that money to fund the startup.
And then there's like all these expectations, like when you're building a company, there's already like, you've got a mission to like build your product and improve your product and blah, blah, blah. And then you have like, that's already enough on your plate. Then you have this other distraction of people like, let's just say you're doing the right, like everything is going well, but for whatever reason, a token's price can go down for whatever reason.
Like, what's happening?
And then you have a bunch of people go like, what the fuck's going on? You're an asshole and blah, blah, blah.
You wouldn't know about that.
Yeah, go through that a lot. But yeah, I don't know. Like crypto and games. I'm really, really excited for GTA 6. It's been delayed. I bet you're excited as well. And I've heard rumors that crypto is going to be in it.
Yeah, but that was like fucking like Aiden Ross and Nelk talking. Like it's just like
no. So I always thought that, and then now I'm hearing like game developers talking about how. So to clarify, Take-Two Interactive / Rockstar, I don't think they're going to do anything with crypto in GTA 6, but you can create servers in GTA 6, and then you can do whatever. You can create a token for that server and then create like this in-game economy.
Who's the rapper? T Grizzly?
Oh yeah, I mean I don't know. Yeah, what he has?
Well, he's got his own server, right? Empire of GTA servers, or he's got his own GTA server and makes fucking heaps of money off it. And I don't know.
I'm assuming he makes like millions of dollars a month.
So how do you like? Is it like a it's like modded, of course, but like, is it like a role-playing server and you like pay money for certain, like, and can you make money in the game?
I don't know much about T Grizzly's GTA. So the only thing I know is that he like streams GTA and then that replaced his rapping income. He made more money from GTA servers than music,
which is crazy.
Which is really crazy. I used to run like servers in like high school, so I did Minecraft, Daisy, Gary's Mod, and like, so that's my experience. And you would sell in-game items for real money. So like, let's say I had a Hunger Games server in Minecraft, and usually you spawn with like nothing.
Yeah.
But if you buy a subscription or if you buy a certain armor, you'll
get a little
spawn in
knife
with
or
like
something, yeah.
you'll spawn in with like armor or something like that. And you know, my thing was small scale. Like I was making whatever, like 10 grand a month or whatever. But like, I mean, there was servers that were making fucking like $1 million, you know, $1 million plus a month in Minecraft, in these Minecraft servers. GTA is the highest grossing piece of all of entertainment and of anything of all time. So I'm assuming if these servers had a token, if GTA had a token, if Rockstar made a token, would that not be worth like $100 billion? Like,
yeah, but like instead of buying like, because you can buy the credits in game now in GTA 5, but it's just like, you know, you get $100 voucher and you buy 50,000 fucking V-Bucks or whatever it is.
Yeah.
If it was just a token, that would be kind of crazy.
If it was a token that, like, I guess, because people will be living in GTA when it comes out, and there'll be people that like in currently GTA 5 Online with the servers and the mods and stuff like that. People are like kind of like doing jobs in it.
Yeah, have you seen the
role play
ones?
stuff.
Yeah.
So imagine you got paid actual like tokens for that, for your like contribution to the server.
Yeah, like an hourly
you got like
fee,
a,
you know what I mean?
And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm obviously, my whole background is that I invested in Animoca, which is like enabling crypto in games. They do a bunch of other stuff now. They're actually looking to IPO.
Liquid.
Yeah. They're looking to IPO later this year or early next year, I believe.
That'll be huge. Unlock.
Ishan's got money.
Finally.
I'm still a big believer in the whole thing of like, yeah, I guess if you play a lot of games and the games have like real world like economies, or like economies that mirror the real world, yeah, why not? Like,
I think people have been trying to do it. There was another one called like Stargate or something.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it was like in kind of white paper mode, and you could like buy a ship in the game.
Yeah,
for like
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
and I remember there was this guy at my school who like bought like $2,000 worth of just like in-game shit that he couldn't even access, and the game still hasn't released. And it was just, the whole thing was just a scam. Because their whole concept was they would build like a fucking what's it called in Black Mirror?
What, like
that episode, the USS Callister.
Oh yeah,
like that. They're kind of building that kind of world. Where it's like you can do anything you want. You can get arrested and go to prison and did it. Like it was too big.
Yeah,
they were basically gonna make a simulation of Earth with other planets, all this other shit, and then it was just too much. So it's like it's a fascinating thing with the game development. Like that brings back to Schedule 1 as well, where it's like it's kind of boring, the concept, and it's actually really small, but it triggers something in our brain. So like even like a giant, you don't need a whole giant universe, because you can just bag weed up simple. And sell it, and it's fun. Like that's the whole game. And it's fascinating. I think there's been like GTA 6 hopefully it's iconic and not just like a reskinned GTA 5.
It looks so good. You've seen the second
it looks
trailer.
crazy.
It looks so good.
I know.
The render, like, I'm astounded by the level of detail. And then when you look back at like GTA 5 looks like San Andreas. Like it looks so, I mean, I guess GTA 5 came out like what, 10 years ago,
12 years ago or something.
Which is insane to think about, but the level of
still
fucking
banging.
detail,
like it's still a great game.
Yeah, it's still even GTA 4 is like a great game, and San Andreas is my like, that's what I grew up playing. Like I love San Andreas.
I was a Vice City guy.
Oh yeah, Vice City and
San Andreas
was
there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, every single GTA is
banging,
so iconic.
I had the one on the DS where you're like a Chinese gangster.
Wait, what?
It was sick. They had a DS game.
They had one on DS?
Yeah, it was so fun. And I would have been like 10, but yeah, it was GTA Chinatown, I think that was what it was called. I think that's what it was called. And then
I don't know why, I just view like DS as like a children's.
Yeah, and I was a child. Yeah,
I played GTA 3 on PSP.
Yeah,
do you remember that? Cool. Do you remember that? I thought that was like really cool, and I would just be on that thing all the time.
Big fan of PSP. I played a lot of Metal Gear Solid. Do you think GTA 6 is going to be on Nintendo Switch 2? No,
like Nintendo, like, so they wouldn't do a whole. Like, it could run
Nintendo keeping it very much their IP, right?
Oh, you mean like, but it was on DS. GTA, Chinatown or whatever?
Yeah, true. Maybe that was some weird little deal that happened. Because I feel like this Switch is like very much like there'll be like a new Zelda and a new Pokemon and
actually,
Mario Kart.
I could not
like,
see a GTA on that.
Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't like resonate.
Apparently, like that's sold out. Like I think gaming's like coming back.
Yeah,
in a pretty big way.
Because people are. Yeah, I don't know. I think gaming's like nostalgic as well.
Yeah.
Like I would love to play Zelda on the Switch. Like it's awesome. And then Switch 2, there's a whole much controversy, fucking bullshit about like it's too expensive for what it does. But
I know. Someone here's been gaming. Lincoln. He sent me his net worth in Schedule 1.
What's he at?
Well, what's it at now?
I'm rich. Like 1.4 million.
Have you played the update?
The last time I played was just before that, I think.
Because apparently there's a whole new storage thing and there's a new car or something.
Yeah, I watched a video about it the other day. I wasn't rushing back. There was nothing really I needed. I've got a tight ship running out of my warehouse. I don't need more space.
I know. It's like I'm just gonna get back to that in like a year or something when they've like got more of a game going on and you can do shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait a bit before I go back.
I think realistically, you won't go back though, right? Like they're running out of time to really capture an audience, in my opinion.
They need to put crypto in so we can make money bagging weed.
But it's also like, do they really need to like do anything more? They've made their money, you know what I mean? Like just work on the next game.
Yeah.
What, a Schedule 2?
Schedule 2.
Well, a Schedule 2 or just a completely different game. Like, you know what I mean? They're not going to make more money. I feel like they've reached saturation point.
Yeah, and it's like not like as a game, it's pretty rough around the edges. It's not kind of like a packaged up, really scalable.
Imagine if they made it multiplayer and like actually added like a crypto thing where you made money like versus other games, and like it just became like there is like the West has like a really, or the Western gamers have a really bad attitude towards like crypto in games and stuff like that, and it's because it hasn't been done right. But I just think if it's done right, people will like it.
Those Eastern gamers.
But those Eastern gamers love money and love capitalism and crypto and stuff like that.
They just love gambling. What you're saying is they love gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but we love gambling too. I think everyone loves gambling. I've got a question for you, Ed. What's the split between every single day between you searching something on Google versus asking like ChatGPT or Claude or whatever the fuck?
It's become, I've what's the word? I've succumbed to ChatGPT because it's just like, I don't really Google that much anymore. If it's related to...
So you've actually like... Because I want to talk about potentially the end of Google.
I shop on Google.
Yeah. Wait, you shop on Google?
But as in like, you know, like we had a photo shoot last week. We needed to find an orange shirt. I'll click the shopping tab and just scroll through. Whereas like I won't ask ChatGPT, hey, I need an orange shirt, because it's like usually not accurate.
Oh yeah, it doesn't know.
And then dead links and shit.
Yes.
So annoying.
And it's just like images don't load. Like there's all this like buggy stuff. Right. And then I use Google to get to YouTube. I use Google to get to like Amazon or email, whatever else. So it's like just a portal. Like I don't necessarily look anything up and scroll anymore.
So recently the stock, you know, had a decline because a huge drop happened because I don't know the stats, but it's something around, I think, search for the first time in history, in Google's history. Google's been operating for what, since 1999. So it's been like 26 years. And for the first time, search has gone down. Search queries have gone down.
I think this has been a long time coming. I've seen like a lot of theories about Google, and one of the bigger ones is that they built such a hot, amazing product at the time that they were able to kind of bloat their team, invest in things that aren't like the, you know, self-driving trucks and like all these kind of projects that they try and then it shits the bed. Google Home, all this kind of stuff where it's like actually the thing that makes the money. And their investment in YouTube was incredible, but
that's probably the best thing they've ever done.
The best thing they've ever done. But yeah, it's just kind of, I don't know. I think it's a long time coming that a new competitor has come in that's a lot leaner and has a new perspective on how search should be done, because it does make sense, the ChatGPT way. I don't think their product is perfectly competitive. Like, you still need Google as a backup or whatever. And it's kind of like that Wikipedia thing we used to get told at school, like, you know, like you can't just get all your information from Wikipedia, like you can't trust it's all correct. I think ChatGPT is the same. Like, I'll have ones where I'll be like, how many like bottle shops are there in California? And like, I'll know this stat from like a distributor or something, and then ChatGPT will be like 5,000 less, and it's like, that's wrong, and they'll be like, oh, actually, yeah, that's true. So it's like,
do you feel like it's getting more accurate? Like it's getting better?
Yeah, and then like the we're talking about it last week, but like we use it for heaps of like inspiration, like how we should lay shit out, how we can change images, testing color grading, all that kind of stuff. It just makes our designers' lives a lot easier. I think they use it a lot. But yeah, I don't know. What about you?
So it is killing. When I think about it, my Google search usage has probably gone down a good 50-60%. And it's literally 50-50, probably more ChatGPT. Like ChatGPT is maybe, or LLMs in general, probably like 80%.
And so you're just a ChatGPT guy or what?
Yeah, I go back and forth. I go between like Grok and like ChatGPT. They see whichever one seems like it's the best, you know, because they're all like, it's getting commoditized where like some of them will have a new update and it makes it a tiny bit better, and then I won't switch. But when there's like a leap, like there's a step change in maybe accuracy or like some sort of function. I used a deep research function a lot in ChatGPT and Grok.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like having, you know, a university student go out and you know, like get all the data for you on some subject. So yeah, when I think about it, all my usage is like, it is pretty scary for Google, because that search business, the search ads business, is probably the best business in the entire world. It is the highest margin business maybe ever created in the history of mankind. And now that's being threatened. So I don't know what they're going to do to try and like, I mean, they've got Gemini, but no one fucking uses it. Do you use Gemini?
Like, it's been like shoved down my throat through like email and sheets and all this stuff, and I just click off. I'm like, I know this is not going to be good. It's like, I don't need you to write my email for me. Like, I don't need you to do any of this. And then, but yeah, I think that's that thing, right, where they've just had such a great business that they didn't necessarily need to innovate. And I feel like we got to that point in the cycle where you're kind of like, oh, well, this is just how things will be. Like, Google's, this is how it will be. And it's like, the iPhone and smartphones as they are now is what it feels like as well, until something is going to come along and everyone's like, holy fuck, why haven't we been doing this the whole time?
Yeah.
But I've got no idea what that is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a much better user experience when you ask something and you don't look for the answer.
Yeah.
And I'm still surprised, you know, ChatGPT has 500 million users according to them. I'm still surprised at how many people don't use or don't know ChatGPT. Like, I visited my parents. My parents are like, you know, old and not technology people. And they didn't know what ChatGPT was. And I was showing my mom, like, I downloaded ChatGPT on her phone, and she was like astounded. Like, and I do think like for older people, like ChatGPT is way better, because you don't have to learn how to fucking like scroll through links and go to this news. Like, it just gives you the answer. It's like it's frictionless to like get to what you want to know.
Think about like a recipe. You have to look up like whatever, like, you know, matriciana recipe. Scroll through. All right, there's like a good one like from Broadsheet. Bang, click that. Click in. All these ads, all this hog shit on the page. Finally scroll down to your recipe, and then it's like, whereas ChatGPT, it's like bang, 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 done.
Yeah,
it's so much easier.
So do you think ChatGPT, or let's just clump ChatGPT and Grok, like LLMs in general, do you think over the next 5 years that they become like, right now, I think most of the I don't know what the actual numbers are between the split of the global total, what it's gone to, but do you see like Google, like, is this the end of Google, like in terms of Google's search business?
It's really tough. I would bet on, I'd go long ChatGPT, short Google.
Right. And Lincoln, what about your split in search in like AI usage? Because I know you use AI quite a lot for some projects.
Yeah. I've definitely jumped on the ChatGPT train in a big way. It's interesting when you asked Ed to begin with. The first thought that came to me is I've actually like swung back a little bit to Google, because I was using ChatGPT as if it was Google, and in a lot of ways it gets better. But ChatGPT comes into its own when you actually have a conversation. Like you prompt it in pretty large detail, and then you follow up, and you're funneling down. And I found that when I was just wanting to do a quick Google, using ChatGPT takes longer. Like just fucking use Google for the Google search.
It does give you a whole yapping answer.
Yaps, yeah. I'm literally like, oh, what year was, I don't know, the toilet invented? And like, if I go,
excuse me,
if you ask, that's the first thing that came to my mind. If you ask ChatGPT that, it'll give you a whole fucking essay.
Yeah.
Where Google will tell you the result in that Gemini summary at the top.
Oh, so you're using Google, but you're
Gemini.
relying on the AI answer.
For something stupid like that, yeah, for sure. I do think that Gemini summary at the top is usually pretty trash. But if you're looking for if you've got a very specific and easy to find answer.
Yeah, I guess they just need to do a better job of like integrating Gemini, or like their ChatGPT, into all their products. But you're saying like it's annoying.
Then where do the ads show up?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. Like you're saying it's annoying when you see it in your email and blah, 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 right? Like it's intrusive.
Yeah. Well, my question is, so how is ChatGPT going to monetize? Because obviously you've got like enterprise
subscriptions,
but like, what about the like,
I don't think
7 billion people in the world that like actually like that's too much money for them.
Yeah, I don't think they're ever going to do ads. I don't know if they can rely on subscriptions forever. I'm pretty sure they make what, $3-4 billion in revenue just from subscriptions,
Unbelievable.
or like / enterprise. But in saying that, to run ChatGPT, I mean, I'm pretty sure they run it at a massive loss.
Yeah,
because all that compute costs so much money, and there's not enough compute, which actually we can go into my next topic.
There was that stat about people saying thank you to ChatGPT is costing like billions of liters of water a year.
I don't.
Yeah.
Is that an actual?
Well, yeah, Sam Altman confirmed this. He's like, yeah, it does cost us millions and millions of dollars. People just saying, oh, thanks for that, because then ChatGPT replies. But he did extend that to say, but it's helping our system talk in a more human way, so it's actually worth the money.
It's like net positive.
Yeah. He's saying, don't stop saying thank you if that's how you normally have that conversation, because they're learning off that data.
Right. Okay. Well, my next topic is related. Did you guys see what's recently Trump's visit to Saudi Arabia? Have you seen photos and stuff like that? Have you seen that, Lincoln? Like you guys haven't seen the photos?
I've seen some of the plane talk.
Oh, have you seen? This is related but unrelated. I think Qatar. Yeah. They as he was leaving Qatar, his plane had escort planes. Like he had an air motorcade, which is just insane. Like literally looks like out of a movie. But anyway, people can probably search that up and look at that. But basically what I'm going back to the topic, Trump recently went to Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and signed off on like a $1.2 trillion investment deal, and he brought half of Silicon Valley with him. So Sam Altman, Elon Musk, Jensen Huang, who's the guy that does Palantir? Alex
crazy guy who spins a book on his finger
and like does a Zin.
yeah. That guy is not real. Like Palantir's got to be like
the most evil company,
the most evil shit. And that they've just put him in there like to be like, yeah, look, this is our CEO. And it's like it's fucking run by the government or something crazy. I don't even know. But,
the reason why I bring this up, that guy is crazy. But the reason why I bring this up is because we're talking about all this compute. What happened in Saudi Arabia this week, I think, is potentially like a very, very important like event in human history, because Trump came and brought all these people, and they sort of reached, some deals and increased their relationship. And basically what it looks like is, Elon Musk is committing to, bring solar panels and orbital access and all this sort of stuff. Sam Altman's committing to bringing AGI. Jensen Huang is bringing the compute, the hardware, and then Saudi Arabia is providing the capital and land to do all this stuff. So they're transitioning from oil to, I guess,
extreme high tech electronics,
extreme high tech AI, chip fabrication plants are going to replace oil rigs, and all this. This is. I was just reading a tweet about this. People are saying, Starship landing pads on the Arabian sand. I think this is, potentially for at least technological advancement and human advancement. Probably one of the most important meetings and weeks in human history that's happened. And I mean, we'll wait and see. But
are they the richest people in the world?
I don't
it's very
know
tricky.
exactly. Does Lincoln know how wealthy? What's the GDP? They are very they must be top 10 GDP.
And then I think the thing is as well, they've got they haven't even bothered to crack into all of the oil they have. Their reserves are unbelievably valuable. And I think it's valued based on not that. I think it's much smaller. So it's just this kind of untapped wealth that they have from the land.
Yeah, I think the oil's not going anywhere anytime soon, but basically, let's see, $1.14 trillion. $1 trillion GDP.
And then can I say what the oil reserves?
But sorry, I think GDP is irrelevant because I'm pretty sure the money flows from Saudi Arabia and Qatar and everything like that is a greater excess of $1 trillion. But what was the question that you wanted to see?
I want to see how much their oil reserves are worth, because I assume it's a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, so they've got the capital, they've got the land, they've got the I guess incentive to do this.
And they don't have the
and they don't have the tech. They don't have the tech.
They don't have the factories. They don't have the.
They don't have Silicon Valley. I know Riyadh. Am I saying that fucking city wrong? But they're trying to make their own Silicon Valley. But
Riyadh.
What am I? Riyadh. What am I saying? Riyadh. Sorry. They're trying to make their own Silicon Valley. But I guess they're partnering up. And I don't know. This is just, let's see. Oh my God, it's going to last for 221 years. The oil reserves in Saudi Arabia. It's worth trillions and trillions of dollars.
I don't even know.
So I guess this past week is just very, very important towards a future where the cost of energy is going near zero, especially when you have the vast solar panels across the Arabian desert. Sun is the new oil.
And was it Saudi Arabia that had the 1,000-year plan that they were building out? I think this might be it.
Actually,
but I know that they were. Obviously, the clock is ticking on oil, and they're heavily reliant on it, and they want to, I guess, sacrifice some of that wealth now for longer term success. And I think it's an interesting move. It's probably the right one. But I'm very interested to see what happens, because it's just there's obviously the superpower of China, which has both the land and the manufacturing and the technology. So I guess this is kind of Saudi Arabia.
That's a good point. This is how there's an arms race for AI. Well, what I was saying was energy goes near zero, and then the implications of that is that the cost of compute goes near zero, and then the implications of that is that the cost of intelligence goes near to zero. So then we'll have an abundance of energy and compute and intelligence, and whatever we spend, every dollar that we spend on AI today, in 10 years we should be able to do 1,000 times more with the same $1. And then you could just think of it would be living the utopian vision of this is that we have so much abundance, we can, do there's a lot of things that seem impractical today that will be practical tomorrow, and that will usher in a whole new era of innovation and, you know, quality of life increase and blah, 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 blah. And the arms race is China has all those things that you just mentioned, and you're completely right. You know, this is, I guess, the West's version of trying to, you know, partner up, you know, outside of, you know, it can't be just America, or like, you know, they need help from other nations to try and combat China.
I think it's also really tricky though, because whenever innovations like that are made, especially in the way society is structured now, but it's like if someone cracks the code on AGI, it's like they're going to privatize it and make a fuck ton of money off it and rule the world, as opposed to which is democratize it and, you know, allow it for everyone to have a greater quality of life, and, you know, people wouldn't have to have jobs and all this kind of stuff, and we could, like, everything could be automated and efficient and environmentally friendly and all this stuff.
This is a post-scarcity world.
Yes.
That is a reality in the next few decades.
Like, you could solve many issues, but yeah, I think the issue
health,
is
education,
like
blah, blah,
profitability,
blah.
And being a company, they're gonna like prioritize making shit tons of money and not necessarily using it for the right things. But maybe they won't, because that was the original vision of OpenAI, was to do that, for it to be like open. And then all of that drama went down, and
they're looking to IPO,
and it's now going to be like just
which is
a nice big evil company.
Yeah, I think all these parties, let's say Nvidia and Elon and Sam Altman and, you know, Donald Trump and Saudi Arabia, all these parties are coming together. Like, I think the main priority is probably the common enemy, which is China. That's probably like the initial sort of motive for them. I know for the private guy like Elon and, you know,
making that number bigger.
Yeah, they want to make the numbers bigger for their companies. But they've just got to be thinking, like, I just refuse to believe that that's all they care about. Like, because the number, like, going from 100 billion to 500 billion and to a trillion, like, probably, like, it really shouldn't matter.
I think they, like, I don't know, I think they would be trying to build that utopia and making sure that they're, like, fucking ruling it.
They're the rulers, yeah.
Right now, they're the rulers of not a great thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're ruling America, it's like everything's all fucked up and da-da-da-da, but they're like, let's fix this, but I still want to own this fucking thing.
Yeah, I guess. Well, they're already at the top. This would just ensure the leap, like the gap between them and everyone else is so much, and it's so fucking clear to me that both Elon and Sam, and it's clear as that they're doing like regulatory capture, being this close to like Trump and the admin and blah blah blah. Even like with Jensen and stuff like that, like they say that, like, it's so Elon lies so much. Like, he'll say no, like I'm doing this for the greater good of the country, which there's probably some truth to that.
But he's benefiting.
Yeah, it's out. He hates Sam Altman so much because he's competing with OpenAI, and I always see him reply whenever Sam's with Trump. I always see him reply under it, like, you know, saying something negative, or like, you know, retweeting a tweet from Sam Altman in 2015 saying that he hates Trump, and like, he obviously wants to have Trump all to himself so he can, you know,
it's so corny.
But anyway, that's the transition. The transformation that Saudi Arabia is going through is a pretty interesting one, and it's I guess, like, it's a very
I think it's fascinating.
I think it's very exciting times. I was always thinking of, like, when I think of like a post shuffle life, what we do after, I always think about like doing something to help combat the arms race against China, and you know, because they can't control like 90% of the rare earths, and Australia is actually like one of, you know, there's a second largest
heaps of lithium.
Yeah, we've got heaps here, so maybe there's some ways to help in that, help anything to do to usher in the age of abundance.
I think a big thing is just like the first thing is getting rid of like the need for oil and using that and just burning fucking through it because it's so bad for the environment. But then, like, you know, making everything way more efficient. So you have to use half the amount of oil, quarter, and then with the lithium stuff, it's like making lithium batteries more efficient and la-di-la-di-la. But then I guess you do reach points where it's like physically impossible to make a battery or a, like a semiconductor. There's only so much you can fit in that to do.
Yeah, I think, we've always just found more ways to do more with less.
Yeah.
Like in the history of mankind, it's always been in that direction. So although it may seem impossible now, I don't think that will stop. The technology is the one side of it. The other side of it is just like making sure we have less reliance on China. And I think that's like probably equally important. Maybe like less, I mean, definitely more for America because it's, America and China like are head on. I mean, they're still partners in a lot of things, but just the for the world to be less reliant, because that's not good when, you're reliant on one nation who wants to be the supreme, nation to rule them all. It's probably not good there, but yeah, no, that was, I'm pretty sure that was all my topics. How long have we been recording for?
What time's your talk? It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I do.
That's
need to go
46 minutes.
46 minutes. Do you have any more? Yeah, this could be a shorter episode. I think we talked about a few things.
That's good.
All right, we are done with the episode. Thank you for listening and watching. Bye-bye.